go get him again.
Welcome back to the Robezoid channel. I'm your host, Mark, and on the docket today we have an unboxing first impression video on the brand of Byredo, and this one right here called Mr. Marvelous. I'm looking forward to this one. Not one that was hugely on my radar, but Mr. Marvelous has its fans. Not a huge fan of Byredo. They've had kind of like a resurgence on my channel back in the day, and I'm talking about 10 plus years ago. I introduced pulp to the fragrance community. The first Byredo review on YouTube, or review, and basically the first talk about Byredo on YouTube, pulp. And my first bottle of my collection, I got a little 50 mil. I need to upgrade that, which is on fumes now. And then of course Fraglover. But yeah, it was a brand that, like those early journeys, I checked out the brand and I came out with Fraglover and pulp. And then I went like a whole good several years. And as a fragrance reviewer on social media, it's the worst thing you can do is just be quiet about a brand for several years. You got to be on top of it. You got to talk about the brand. But I came back with Tobacco Mandarin. I bought a bottle, absolutely love that one. So I've been kind of testing out more Byredos, and obviously this is a Fragflex return haul fragrance, Mr. Marvelous. So I'm looking forward to it. It wasn't one that was hugely on my radar, but let's get into it. Before we get into anything, if you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button, smash the like button, much appreciated. And to my returnees, welcome back. Much love to all of you that support me throughout the years. And I don't mind if you hit the like button as well as a subscriber. Thanks. Let's take a look at the note breakdown on this one. Let's see if we have anything interesting, anything crazy. No, bamboo, I guess. Petit Grain, Neroli, bamboo, lavender, cedar, and amber. That is as basic as it can be as a note breakdown. There's nothing here that's screaming out anything. And if I'm looking at this name as a first impression, and knowing the name, the brand of Byredo, like, okay, well, what am I going to get here? I'm probably going to get like a lavender-centric fragrance because if we're looking at Mr. Marvelous, I'm thinking it's going to be maybe a lavender-based fragrance that's clean cut with some cedar. You know, maybe a little bit of that Petit Grain Neroli coming off up top, but nothing crazy. So we'll see. This was released back in 2011, so early Byredo release. Nose Ben Agorum. So let's delve into this one. It's a 100 ml bottle. Let's see what kind of shape it's in. Still got the little tag and everything. Yeah, it's a legit returned product. It's not like they took like 20 mils and went, hey, here you go, Fragflex. Enjoy. I just decanted a whole bunch of stuff. So let's delve into Mr. Marvelous from the brand of Byredo. Very good atomizer, these Byredos. I love this simplistic packaging of this. So let's delve into Mr. Marvelous. Let's talk about it. Oh, she's clean. Watery though, like citrus. Obviously that Petit Grain Neroli is really pushing through. Clean, citrusy, bright, almost fizzy. I was not expecting that kind of uplifting factor. If you're looking at Petit Grain Neroli, yes, they got citrus appeal. Most of the time, they're not the most sparkling, if that makes sense. There's definitely an orange here, obviously, as per those notes, but like a mandarin too, like a sweet orangey feel, pops off the top. This is so Byredo. It smells like thin, like a Byredo. Like the early Byredos were, honestly, there was nothing much to grasp on these Byredos. It was always like things that were very transparent, thin. And this has that. I really do like that citrus appeal. Let's put it on skin. Let's see if we can delve more into this. It can't just be this Neroli Petit Grain thing, but yeah, that top is, Byredo does thin citrus very well. Their top notes are really invigorating. Now, the more it's going into my skin now, there's some green aspects here as well. That could be the Petit Grain. And definitely that top note is definitely there and making an impact. I've smelt a lot of fragrances in my heyday that a lot of top notes just go zoop. You know, you just straight into the base notes. This has that little bit of that. They're making their presence felt, which is really nice. It seems like there's going to be some development in here. There's a little bit of a leafy quality in this. I almost feel like there's bergamot in here. Not listed as a note, obviously, but I get a little bit of that pineapple-like touch and that sparkle that bergamot gives to fragrances. And again, I'm grasping at straws with notes that are not in the note breakdown, but I feel it here. But it's so Byredo. It's thin, it's bright, it's light. Okay. Now the woods is coming in, a little bit, a little woody backbone coming in, giving the citrus at least something to grasp on here, a little bit of oomph. A very light cedarwood base right now that isn't very strong, so don't think you're going to get some Home Depot action in here. No, it's very light. It's just enough in there that it's giving its presence. But what I like about this release, at least in the opening, which surprised me a little bit, it's not that it has tartness, but it does. Like, I feel like they do citrus as well. Like Atelier Cologne and Byredo, as far as citruses, they're really on par. And maybe that's a slap to Byredo, because Atelier Cologne's cheaper as a brand. But I feel like, and it's Atelier's Cologne bread and butter, by the way, anyway, so I don't think it's a slap. And they are one of the better ones to make citruses, personally. But I think I think that I really like that. And what that does in here, because it has a little bit of personality to the citruses, it makes the citruses more authentic, less artificial to me. There's a lot of citruses out there that fall flat, personally. And one of the brands that does it really well is Atelier Cologne. So I'm giving them their flowers, like Orange Sanguine, Pomelo Paradis. Some of the best citrus-based fragrances. Yeah, you might not get performance, and I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the citrus itself and its three-dimensional feel. You want to close your eyes and you'll be like, wow, like Pomelo Paradis, like, wow, there's a pomelo right there, a grapefruit right in front of my face. Like, I can smell everything. Same with Orange Sanguine. Orange Sanguine's a little more artificial than pomelo, but anyway, it has that less artificial feel here. There's a little balminess now coming through with the amber. So the amber is not a heavy, syrupy, vanillic thing. It's more of a balmy aspect to the scent. Little light floral. So the lavender is not as prominent as I assumed. Right? It's not as lavender-centric or cedar-centric that I assumed. This is more Petit Grain, Neroli forward, even bamboo. We'll put it in there because it has a little bit of a woody aspect. But mostly citrus, mostly green aspects here, and a little bit of that woody aspects. Those are your stars. So the lavender, honestly, I was probably way off. And you can't fault me for that, because seeing the name and looking at the note breakdown, those were the notes that I thought were going to be primary. That's when you think of a Mr. or a, like I thought with the name that it was going to be like something like a classy men's fragrance. No, it's, and I'm not saying it's not classy, but so at the end of the day, Mr. Marvelous from Byredo, is it a star? No, it's not a star. It's not a pulp. It's not a Belle d'Afrique. It's not even close to a Tobacco Mandarin. So at the end of the day, it's well blended. It smells like a Byredo. It's not out of place. If you blindfolded me and you gave me this strip and I smelt it, I would have said Byredo. I would have said Byredo, 100%. It smells like the brand. Overpriced for what you get? Yeah. There's some versatility there. So there are some positives. There's some versatility there for sure. Unisex, I could see it. I don't see, anything heavily masculine as a note. Like the cedar is not going into the Home Depot action. Easy to wear, a little boring. Can it be your signature office wear scent? And maybe that's where Mr. Marvelous comes into play. Yes, it definitely can be a daily wear, boring office wear scent where nobody's going to be like going, who's the cologne guy? No, this will get you compliments. It's going to get you noticed as you smell good in the office, and it's not going to offend. It's almost going into that Kenzo and Issey Miyake territory. And anybody that knows perfume knows what I'm talking about. It's tippy-toeing, but it's in the Byredo shape of scent profiles. But you can feel that that's where it's going to slot in. And lavender is showing up, but it's still a secondary. It's not going to be primary as I assumed it was going to be. So at the end of the day, such a Byredo scent, first of all. This is not out of their cusp. It really smells like a Byredo fragrance. I feel like there's some goods, as I said, right? Versatile, blah, 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 all that good stuff. But there's also lots of downsides in regards to when I'm spending this kind of money, Byredo money, and especially the 100 mils, you start looking at, the wow factor. And smelling a lot of Byredos within the years and things like that. You almost have to be top 5 in a brand to have that wow factor. And I don't think this is a very solid release for the brand. And that's where I want to be with this release. But it's nothing unique, crazy, something that I can grasp on and go, oh, this note or this scent profile in this particular release really makes me want to purchase a bottle. No. Now, this one is available at Fragflex. Fragflex does carry Byredo fragrances. You can use my code TFG10 and get 10% off site-wide. That coupon code has no expiry, so keep it in your back pocket. Use it as you wish, because you don't have to purchase Mr. Marvelous in regards to it. So, yeah, an okay scent from Byredo. Exactly what I come to expect from the brand. I believe they have better releases. Their release, I guess, not ones that speak to me a lot more. Unfortunately, this one didn't speak to me. It's definitely Byredo quality. It's not a step down from what Byredo's you're used to, but it's not like a Tobacco Mandarin, a star from the fragrance brand. And those stars have polarizing fragrance reviews. You go on a Tobacco Mandarin, a pulp, there is going to be some hate and some love. I think this one can be universally loved, but there's a lot of things that I think a lot of people would bring up that I would bring up, like kind of bland, things like that. These kind of fragrances, you need some of them in your collection, but there's not enough wow. Now that you heard my take, I'd love to see yours in the comments below. Good, bad, and the ugly, right? You can agree, disagree with me. Let us know what you think about Mr. Marvelous from Byredo. And as always, a greater pour fragrance will make a lasting impression. Choose your scent wisely. Thanks for watching, YouTube. Have a good one.